In this video we're going to be setting up my 3-foot marine tank. This is going to be a mixed reef. In the past I've kept smaller tanks, but I've never had a tank this big before, so I'm excited to have more coral and more fish. The first step we're doing is obviously cleaning the tank and making sure it's as clean as it can be, so we don't want any contaminants. I'm going to be using a mixture of fake and real reef rock. These are from previous setups, so some are still wet, but the majority of it is dry. This means we're going to have to do a complete dry rock cycle. For the equipment, all I'm using are 2 wave makers, a heater, a canister filter and a light that cost me about £150 off Amazon. First we had our big rocks that are flat on the bottom. These are going to act as a base layer for the structure above. I've sped this up so you can see it faster, but here I'm just playing with the rock, trying to create a rough structure before I decide to stick it all down. The main thing is trial and error, because at the end of the day you're the person who's going to have to look at this tank every day, and we want it to look good. I change my mind a lot, and I change a lot of things around. What you see in here doesn't end up being the finished product. The important thing is that the structure is sound and nothing's going to fall, causing the tank to crack. The trick is to get more rock than you need, because the likelihood of all of the rock you have being perfect and exactly what you want is extremely low. It's best to get more than you need, so then you can play around with it. In this case I didn't have enough at the start, and I'm going to need to go get some more at a later date, but I'm planning to make this live rock to speed up the cycle. In the end, this is what I came up with. I think it looks pretty good and provides a lot of space for the fish. Next we're going to be adding our substrate. For this I'm using TMC marine sand. I'm not bothering to wash it, which will inevitably make my tank cloudier, but due to the cycle being really long anyway, I'm not too bothered. The trick is to have 2 to 3 inches. That's enough room for a conch, but not too much that it's going to get kicked up all the time. In the end, this is what I ended up with. The structure I've made on purpose has got lots of crevices and caves for things like wrasses in the future to hide, particularly the rock structure on the left. I'm running some small rocks just for detail, and maybe some potential places for corals that I don't want on my main structure. The rock on the right hand side you see, I've put specifically there to make a zoa garden in the future, as I don't want these on my main structure. This is a cave I made at the back. This is going to be perfect for those wrasses. Gives them a place to hide. I might even cap off the back so it's a true cave. This is just an arch, gives swimming space. I'm going to be adding a marine safe epoxy resin. This is going to make it so the structure is fully secure and nothing will fall. Then the tank's soon going to be ready for salt water and ready to start the cycle. The last thing I'm doing before I add water is using this epoxy to hold the rocks together. All you have to do is simply mix the two solutions. I then wedged it in between the rocks. After leaving it for 24 hours to cure, my rock scape is solid and I'm confident that nothing will fall once it's in. Now we start adding water, but before that I'm going to be using these beneficial bacteria balls and putting them directly into the filter. These will act as a kickstarter for the system and make sure that my cycling goes right. All you do is simply put them in the filter and replace them once they run out. This is the tank after being filled with water for 2 weeks, and to say I was pleased would be an understatement. I ended up adding my first coral, these being clovers, along with some mushrooms as well. Corals seem to be happy and the tank so far is going well. I'm thinking of adding fish in the coming weeks. I'm now running a second light, this being a stock Fluval Evo, along with my light from Amazon, these being both on timers. The Evo light is running for 10 hours and the LED Amazon one is running for 11. I'm very pleased with the tank so far. Subscribe to see the progress and me adding fish in the coming weeks.